friends, this is Rob Klaus, and this is Building Your Business, presented by the Certified Commercial Property Inspectors Association, the world's largest commercial inspectors association. We are just beginning a brand new video series, which we will bring you monthly. In this video series, we are hoping to provide you with some industry insight, some market analysis, some information that will help your operation, help you grow the industry, as well as each of your individual businesses. From time to time, we'll have some guests pop in. These guests are going to be industry leaders, market experts, or inspectors just like yourself. So stay tuned for more exciting episodes. But let's begin today with a little talk about the NAR. We are lucky enough as an industry that there's a lot of information available to us. Most of it is online, most of it is free, and one of my favorite resources that I like to keep an eye on is the National Association of Realtors Commercial Reports. These reports are published at least quarterly. Sometimes I see them monthly, but they're at least quarterly, and these reports talk about what the market is doing. Now, it being the close of 2022, we've just got released the annual report. The annual report is everything that happened in 2022 and helps us forecast or take a look at 2023. And so I have the January 23 report here in front of us. Again, this was available at the National Association of Realtors website. And as I scroll through here, I want to pay attention right here to our summary. When we're looking at the summary, most of the businesses had pretty healthy balance sheets. Most everything looked pretty good, except this year was probably the most challenging year when it came to the multifamily and office sectors. Both the multifamily and office sectors both declined in 2022. If you were an inspector in 2021, you probably saw a huge increase or uptick in your multifamily and office. Post-pandemic, the office space is pretty ambiguous, as they say right here in this report. There's a lot of vacant space in what we'll call the traditional office world has changed. And most offices, especially with staff in seats in offices, is contracting. And so a lot of businesses are either getting rid of office space or downsizing tremendously. And so if you're building your business or you're heavily aiming towards office space, that might be something to kind of shift or pivot on and start thinking about some of the other sectors that are in the commercial world. And same with multifamily. You might have some areas where multifamily is doing well, but in most cases, multifamily has not done well in 22, and they're forecasting for 23 not to do as well. I'll show you a little bit more, some statistics in a moment. The bright sector for 2022 and looking forward to 2023 is absolutely, they're talking about being industrial and retail spaces. The industrial space here is continuing to grow. If you're in an area with heavy industrial, especially heavy vacant industrial, that is something that you should consider looking at and building your skills and being ready for the call. If you watch some of the information coming out from the federal government, they're really pushing the Made in America or Made in North America building, and so a lot of businesses are scaling up for that. As far as the economy goes, we've seen a decrease in the unemployment, which is good. So that tells us our market is great. They're talking about interest rates being pretty typical. So everything is looking good for the commercial side. I'm going to scroll past the economy here, and I want to show and illustrate what I was talking about with the multifamily. You'll see that there are some areas where the growth and the rent has gone up. But as the rent has gone up, the absorption of the properties has gone down. So in other words, a lot of consumers aren't able to afford single family homes. Maybe you're seeing that if you're a residential inspector as well as a commercial inspector. And so a lot of individuals or families are not able to afford a single family home, but they can afford rent. And so in that particular case, the rents are going up, but the sale of the properties is going down because the investors are holding the properties a little bit longer. So that's something we want to definitely pay attention to. Some of the areas that have had the strongest amount of absorption, that's vacant properties coming off the market, are New York, Washington, Los Angeles, Austin, Minneapolis, Chicago, Seattle, Denver, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Kansas City. So maybe if you're in one of those markets, you haven't felt it as much, but if you're in other markets around the country, you're probably feeling the multifamily crunch. This goes to the same as office space. In these areas here, these are what we'll call the largest vacancy rates. These are the amount of spaces that have increased in vacancy over last year. And so we're still looking at a pretty high vacancy rate in Houston, Dallas, San Francisco, Washington, Chicago, Phoenix, Denver, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Austin. So these are areas where there's a lot more office space open and available. So you're not even seeing the construction of office space. And so, again, this post-pandemic world, we're still trying to figure out what the world's, what the country's office dynamic is going to look like. Areas where there's very little vacancy include Myrtle Beach, Youngstown, Ohio, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Sarasota, Florida, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Springfield, Missouri, Knoxville, Tennessee, Albany, New York, Lakeland, Florida, and Fort Myers, Florida. These are places that have been more desirable for office space, and so they're starting to get some vacancy rates dropping. So this is interesting information, and it's information that you can use as you're thinking about your market plans for 2023. When it comes to industrial is the bread and butter. It is the backbone of the American economy. And so when you look at these areas, these are the strongest areas for getting the most industrial space off the market. And that is Chicago, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Phoenix, Kansas City, Missouri, Indianapolis, Indiana, Atlanta, Georgia, Columbus, Ohio, Austin, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, and Charlotte. And so if you're working in those areas, you should be out looking for those real estate agents and those referral sources and those clients that are buying industrial buildings. Be in front of them and try to secure that business. Areas that aren't doing as well industrially are Los Angeles, New York, Syracuse, Chattanooga, Santa Rosa, Columbus, Lexington, Augusta, Springfield, and Lansing, Michigan. And so those are areas that you've probably felt the contraction as well. And then here's our retail space. And again, the NAR is predicting retail space to be very, very good moving through at least the first two to 3 quarters of 2023. So something to look at. Again, this report is available at the NAR's website. I love going to the website. I love paying attention to it. And if you're a business owner, that could be something you want to look at as well. During this series of videos, I want to highlight a little bit about our mentoring program. The mentoring program was set up to help you with your issues and your, I don't want to say problems, but challenges that might come up in your business. Whether you need help with a proposal or need help with organizing a fee structure, or you got a job that's confusing and you want to have a different perspective or a different set of eyes, kind of talk about it a little bit. And so as part of this mentoring program and helping you build your business, I want to share a recent call that came in and a mentoring opportunity that we had. Last week I talked with a member and he had a job come in through his website, through his sales efforts, and he had some questions on whether or not it was something that he should do. And he knew he was qualified. He knew he was comfortable. He just needed affirmation. And so as part of that, let's talk a little bit about the building. It was a 10-story building. It was 132 units, and it's an apartment building. The size was the most immediate concern he had, and how just was he going to be able to tackle it and execute a superior inspection, and one that this client who reached out to him wanted him to perform. And so we talked, and at the end of the call, we recommended a few steps. And these steps were the same steps that he understood, just needed to be reassured to from the live class that he attended, as well as the same steps that were outlined and are presented in our online course entitled How to Determine the Inspection Prices and Write Proposals. And I said to him, I think the first thing you need to do is conduct a really good, thorough interview with your prospective client. Find out what they're looking for. Find out what they need. Find out what they want you to provide them. And then build a proposal around it. And so by doing that, you can find out their specific needs and their specific interests. And so at the end of his interview, he was ready to write his proposal. He found out that the client needed and was concerned about the roof, the electric, and the HVAC. Those were his three immediate concerns. He was not concerned with any of the 132 apartments. He was also not concerned with the elevator or any of those other systems that might be way too complex for one inspector to jumble on and do. And so that was kind of exciting for him. And in fact, he didn't even need to do anything beyond just the common spaces. So he won the job. He bid it. He performed this inspection with a couple experts. He brought a roofing expert and an electrician, and he brought an HVAC expert. He was ready to do the inspection, but he thought that the best thing he could do, bring those experts along. And then the nice thing is he tagged along, just like we've always talked about with those experts. And he got a really good live class on what was going on with the chiller system and the cooling towers and the complex electric that was going up and down the building. So he was very excited about that. And what he wanted to share to me was his most excitement was he only spent a third of his fee on experts, and 2/3 of the fee was in his pocket. And so that was very satisfying. And he learned a lot, and he got to walk through with the experts. And he was also grateful that he reached out through the mentoring program and said that, and I'm not saying this for any other reason, but he believes that it was our conversation that is the reason why he won the job, is he needed somebody to remind him about the interview process and some of the other steps that he was just so excited to try to get the job that he was going to omit. So that's great. And that's good news for the mentoring program. It's good news for him. And he's building his business because he has one successful, awesome, large client that will most likely tell other people on what an awesome experience they had. And that word of mouth is going to build. That I can promise you. Shifting to our third topic, which is what we'll call announcements, or very exciting news that's coming here from the CCPIA. We are in a constant building process for you, building online courses and content to help and enhance each of your businesses and help you build your knowledge and your successes. We've recently published 2 courses. I don't know if you've seen them or not. One is determining inspection prices and writing proposals, and the other is report writing for commercial property inspections. Both of these are online, and both of these are free for members. So make sure you take a look at those. These are up there on the website under member resources. We've got 2 courses coming up very, very soon to be published. One will be commercial HVAC. That would be section 6.55 and 6.56 of the CompSop. And the other is inspecting commercial kitchens, which is 6.5.13 of the CompSop. Both of these will be published very, very soon. I anticipate both of these to be available to you within the next 2 months. Watch for the dates. We'll certainly put out some announcements. While building these courses, we have the need and the desire to create more images. And so you probably see online in some of the forums and some of the places images being delivered. We're creating them all the time. And so these are images that, again, are free for members to download. In addition to the courses that we offer through our website, which are, again, free for members, we offer from time to time live in-person classes. These in-person classes are offered through a partnership with InterNACHI at one of their 3 House of Horrors locations. The class that I'm very excited to talk about is our Advanced Building Systems Application class. This is a 2-day class going to be offered in Boulder, Colorado at the House of Horrors 1. We're bringing back a very popular instructor, Scott Harris, to present this class. This class aims to help commercial property inspectors be both an immediate and ongoing asset to their clients by assisting them in planning sound capital management of their property's assets. Cost estimating and a knowledge of building maintenance are great value adds for your existing inspection business. For those that don't know Scott has over 35 years of engineering, construction, and inspection experience. He's also the author of Commercial Property Maintenance and will provide a real-life guidance for entering the commercial sector and the inspection industry as a whole. Now, this class is going to be offered in March on the 23rd and 24th. It's not too late to sign up. Check out our website for that registration. The next class that I want to talk a little bit about is our Introduction to Commercial Property Inspections. This is a 3-day class. This class is designed to help individuals confidently enter the commercial sector of the inspection industry. This class is designed to provide you with the significant differences between the commercial and the residential inspections. During this 3-day class, the first day will focus solely on business and the business side of the commercial inspection industry. We're going to discuss the differences between commercial inspections, types of buildings, pricing strategies, proposal creation, and some sales and marketing. It's the first day. The next 2 days are all technical, and they culminate with a mock inspection of the building which we'll be at. And so it's very exciting. We're offering that, and I have 3 different dates to announce. In April, on the 12th, 13th, and 14th, we are going to be at the House of Horrors 2 in Weston, Florida. In May, on the 10th, 11th, and 12th, we're going to be at the House of Horrors 1 in Boulder, Colorado. And in June, on the 7th, 8th, and 9th, we're going to be at the House of Horrors 3 in BloomsBurg, Pennsylvania. So that's very exciting. We have three classes being offered at 3 different House of Horrors coming up before the end of the second quarter. So for more information, check out our online courses and our in-person classes on our website at ccpia.org. So I want to thank you for taking time to view this today. I'm pretty proud of each and every one of you for becoming the success that you want to be. Remember, our mentoring program is there. We're only an email away, whether it's an email or a phone call, but we're only a little bit away. Until the next time, this is Rob Klaus from the Certified Commercial Property Inspectors Association, wishing you the very best, and by all means, stay safe.